Hey Jonathan, this is a response video to you and also Fred, Conference Report, if you guys want to collaborate in this dialogue. I really like that description that you gave in your video about working on the self and working on the world as part of a continuum that aren't necessarily separated as much as focusing on, let's say, solely on social activism or personal mystical journeys, that they're interrelated. And that idea, the what's it called? God hiding the light of God being hidden in everything, and our work is to liberate it liberate and show that light in ourselves and in others. That's beautiful, to say the least, and it seems to be the hidden impulse in behind every religion, East and West, and I think that's actually pretty amazing. And it doesn't need. I know, Fred, you were mentioning, this sort of grandeur that organized religions tend to do with building cathedrals, instead of putting that money towards people who actually need it. This kind of mysticism, which is personal and collective, it's unconditional. Whatever scale that you apply it to, it is seeking to help alleviate suffering and compassion and I guess darkness, so to speak, in the world. I think religion has always had a place, or at least we've always seemed to need it in the past, as a sort of an older means to bring ourselves together in a particular mythology. But I think as the world is shrinking, our relative religions, we're going to find it harder to associate ourselves with them in the same way. So this sort of mystical, helping ourselves and helping the world, that kind of idea is, I think it's going to shine more. I've been listening to this teacher, Shinzen Young. He's a meditation practice, mindfulness teacher, and his idea is that the mysticism of East and West are actually very similar, and that is contemplative, and this essence of spiritual practice, which is perennial, can help transform both yourself and help you become more helpful to people by just your inner state of being and compassion towards others. And it can help others if they integrate that, if they discover that in themselves more. I think what we're really talking about is such a complex, multi-level problem. The suffering in the world. Fred, I don't know if I would go after religion anymore. It used to be, but in the new world or the modern world, I think what's really taking the money and energy to helping the world isn't just greedy capitalism. It's also the military-industrial complex, which consumes ghastly amounts of money and manpower for the sake of destroying, and this sort of paranoid, territorial, almost, it behaves more like a paranoid beast, afraid of being killed, than some kind of civilized country. I mean, look at the Pentagon and the money that goes to it. That's astronomically more than the Hubble Space Telescope, than CERN, and so on and so forth. So I think, although it's good that this money and this energy should all be going towards helping the main culprit, I think, that's kind of like the gravity well that's keeping us sort of centered around this territorial, paranoid, um, fighting-prone consciousness, so to speak, is probably the military-industrial complex. It feeds off of territoriality and all of that. So that's something I wanted to mention too. Um, Also, I wanted to share a quick quote on that whole self and other, sort of the collective and the individual. Um, it's by Mumyo Ryu. I'm guessing that he was a Japanese Zen master. He says, "Without any regards to the society nor the world, all needed is my personal peace. This is the true statue of Satori, because nothing other than being continuously at ease all by oneself can truly be helpful for someone else. The total absence of any intention to help makes it indeed helpful." And I like that. But again, I don't think it necessarily disagrees with what you said. It just is another way of looking at it, I guess. To help oneself is to help others, and that sounds like such a cliche, but to consider it this way, it's actually probably saying more about becoming selfless uh, uh, by really bringing out the light in yourself. How much more of an effective tool could you become to helping the world, you know? And all of this sounds, all fine and dandy. It comes down to finding a practical means for these sort of these teachings, for tikkun, the mystic's path. How can we? I guess here's the ending question. How can we take the mystic's path, which is Eastern and Western, this essential idea that you actually really nicely expressed, and, well, I don't want to say secularize it. Maybe we have to, maybe not. How can we give that to the world? I think as much as helping people by donating money to organizations and agencies to help alleviate suffering, I think we more than ever need compassionate, spiritually transformative people helping out, helping elevate or shift the general sinkhole that we're in. We're in this paranoid territorial state where countries fight countries, and even though the majority, I think the population is just kind of being herded around by this, just giving into their fear and paranoia. Even with things like aid and helping poverty, we don't like to think that our iPods and stuff is contributing to it as well, but it is. So there's so many problems. I think an inner state is just as essential as the exterior activity, because from within, you will act from your center of gravity. And if we get more people at a different center of gravity, at least I believe we can really impact things and maybe make this whole crazy world not as appealing as it used to be. Maybe we'll want to change things, and maybe we won't buy into the territoriality and the inherently violent, scared, paranoid nature that is so representative of things like the military-industrial complex that basically drive the world. So I think a shift in our interior state would completely collapse the exterior world, because the inner and outer are connected, as you mentioned. But yeah, thank you. Great video.